We're all curious about the bizarre things celebrities spend their money on. While the famous singer is known for his philanthropy, one story suggests otherwise. Bono once paid $1,700 to fly his hat from London to Italy before a performance. Bono spent $1,700 to fly his hat. When your net worth is $700 million, you can afford convenience at the drop of a hat. Literally. Bono reportedly paid $1,700 to have his hat flown to him from his home in London while performing at a charity concert in Italy. The story goes that Bono realized he had forgotten his hat at home shortly before taking the stage at Luciano Pavarotti's charity concert in 2003. Instead of improvising, he arranged for the hat to be delivered before the performance. The hat was transported by taxi to Gatwick Airport, located south of London, where it was placed in the cockpit of a British Airways flight under the watchful eyes of the pilots to prevent it from being damaged by the passengers. The hat then boarded another taxi to be reunited with Bono a few hours before the show began, and it arrived in perfect condition. Overall, the taxi rides and the better-than-first-class flight cost around $1,500 to $1,700. It's safe to assume that Bono earned significantly more than that at Pavarotti's charity concert that evening, which we're sure helped Bono justify the cost in his mind. In any case, he probably looked great in the hat. It was difficult to explain to the drivers in British Airways what he was after, but everything worked out in the end. Bono's net worth. Aside from his music career and charity work, Bono has been involved in a number of startups and real estate investments over the years. All of this contributes to his overall fortune, which is among the highest in the music industry today. Bono's net worth is estimated to be $700 million after a 4 to 5 year career. While he is still a long way from becoming a billionaire, the 60-year-old singer has a long career ahead of him. Bono's career. Few bands have a longer history than U2. When the members were teenagers in Dublin, Ireland, they formed the group. Drummer Larry Mullen Jr. placed an ad on a school bulletin board, and Bono, born Paul David Hewson, and the other band members responded. The band quickly began writing their own songs, with Bono taking on the role of primary lyricist. The name U2 was chosen in 1977 as a way to distinguish themselves from other rock and roll bands with more traditional names. U2 quickly rose from obscurity in the United Kingdom to become one of the world's most successful bands. U2 had crossed the pond and was performing in front of large crowds at various venues across the United States while still in their early 20s. Their fifth album, The Joshua Tree, released in 1987, catapulted them to international fame and catapulted them to superstardom. Aside from his status as a world-renowned rock star, Bono is perhaps best known for his charitable work. Within their first decade as a band, U2 began performing at fundraisers and benefit concerts, and Bono has since become one of the world's most active activists. I've been in a car when one of our songs came on the radio, and I've been the color of, as we say in Dublin, scarlet, he said in an hour-long interview with The Hollywood Reporter's Scott Feinberg. I'm just embarrassed. I think U2 overdoes it on embarrassment a lot. And maybe that's the place to be as an artist, is right at the edge of your level of pain for embarrassment. Your level of embarrassment, he added. I believe that on Boy and other albums, very unique and original material was sketched out. But I don't believe I filled in the blanks. In defense of his band, since their debut in the early 1980s, U2 has had 10 UK #1 albums and 7 chart-topping singles. Their fifth album, Joshua Tree, which includes anthems such as With or Without You and Where the Streets Had No Name, was recently named the best album of the decade by Radio 2 listeners. While Bono agrees that his band sound amazing, he claims he dislikes the sound of his own voice, except on Vertigo, which appears on How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. Most of the others make me cringe a little, he admitted. Despite a 4-decade career, the Irish singer believes his voice was weak early on and that he only recently became a singer. I just found the voice very strained and kind of macho, and it strained my Irish macho, he continued. A big discovery for me was listening to the Ramones and hearing Joey Ramone's beautiful kind of sound and realizing I didn't have to be that rock and roll singer, he says. But I only recently became a singer. The singer appeared on the podcast with bandmate The Edge, who revealed that the group was never fond of its famous moniker. He explained that U2 were originally going to be called The Hype, but they changed their minds because the name sounded unoriginal. Steve Averill, a graphic designer friend of theirs, then suggested some better ones. It wasn't that U2 stood out as the name we were really looking for, but it was the one we hated the least, the guitarist explained. He stated that it sounded fresh at the time and that it was not obvious from the name what this band would sound like or be about. It was the one we picked and we didn't love it at first. I still don't, Bono said. I honestly don't. But I was late in developing dyslexia and I didn't realize the Beatles was a bad pun either. The insect's correct spelling is beetle. He claimed that the band's name was chosen to conjure up futuristic images of the spy plane and the U-boat. But then, because it seemed to imply this kind of acquiescence, no, I don't like that name. Please subscribe to our channel.